The Arab League now accounts for over 151,000 indexed scientists operating across a network of more than 1,000 academic institutions. For years, the prevailing strategy for regional development was linear. Increasing the number of physical campuses and the size of the scientific workforce would provide the necessary scale for global academic competition. However, the 2026 performance data reveals that this correlation has decoupled. Large-scale national systems are now frequently losing ground to significantly smaller, more compact neighboring systems. This gap indicates that the traditional focus on raw institutional growth has reached a point of diminishing returns. Global visibility is no longer moving in tandem with the system size, but with its conversion efficiency, the specific capacity to turn physical infrastructure into measurable international impact. This scatter plot maps the disconnect between total institutions on the horizontal axis and average world rank on the vertical. Iraq and Algeria have huge footprints but lack top-tier prestige. Conversely, Saudi Arabia and the UAE maintain moderate sizes but achieve significantly higher ranks. These results suggest the 22 nations of the Arab League are following distinct and often conflicting developmental pathways rather than a single regional line. If size is no longer the primary driver of success, we have to look closer at the specific structural engines that actually produce academic visibility. To find those engines, we need to separate a nation's physical buildings from its actual scientific workforce. This chart shows Iraq leading the region in pure institutional count, with 139 separate entries. But the human capital distribution follows a different logic. Egypt commands the largest raw scientific workforce by a wide margin, with over 40,000 indexed researchers. Measuring these in isolation misses the critical variable, scientific density. It is the concentration of researchers within an institution, rather than the total number of researchers in the country, that correlates with ranking performance. When we normalize the scientist count by the number of institutions, the regional hierarchy undergoes a total reorganization. While Egypt's massive workforce keeps it at the top, smaller systems like Jordan and Algeria show high levels of concentration, housing a denser population of scientists per campus than many of their larger peers. The data suggests that simply increasing university counts can dilute resources. The systems currently moving up the rankings are those that concentrate their academic talent into dense hubs. We see the result of that concentration in the top 40 institutions in the Arab League. While it is easy to assume elite performance is only possible through a single type of university, the region actually employs 3 distinct structural routes to reach the top tier. The first is the flagship public university model. Saudi Arabia utilizes this model most effectively, placing 16 institutions in the top 40. These are large, state-backed entities designed specifically for global rank competition. The second route avoids the traditional university structure entirely, specialized research centers. Egypt leads this segment with 15 entries. Organizations like the National Research Center generate high-end output by focusing on specific scientific missions rather than broad undergraduate education. The third pathway is the most selective, the private excellence model. The United Arab Emirates, Lebanon, and Jordan use this route to secure visibility. Their top-performing private institutions are often much smaller than public flagships, but they are highly agile and strategically positioned. These 3 pathways, public, private, and specialized research, represent different ways to engineer global visibility. Success depends on choosing a specific model rather than pursuing generic growth. To understand which of these systems are the most efficient, we have to look at the percentage of a nation's total universities that actually break into the global top 1,000. This chart tracks that conversion share across the region. Qatar converts over 18% of its institutional base into top 1,000 rankings. This indicates that a compact, targeted system can achieve a higher density of excellence than systems 10 times its size. But conversion is a snapshot in time. To see the current trajectory of these systems, we need to factor in ranking momentum. This 4-quadrant scatter plot maps current world rank positions on the horizontal axis against recent rank changes on the vertical axis. Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates occupy the upper right quadrant, combining strong current rankings with positive upward movement. In the lower quadrants, we see several massive systems currently facing a momentum crisis. Despite their scale, Egypt, Algeria, and Iraq are showing negative rank changes, indicating that their historical size is no longer translating into current progress. Large system size paired with negative momentum suggests a state of stagnation. Moving forward, the regional hierarchy will be defined by those that maintain upward velocity, not those with the most historical volume. The final structural challenge is found within the disciplinary makeup of the universities themselves. Broad-based faculty growth does not result in uniform ranking improvements across all subjects. Large, strategically important fields like engineering and the social sciences represent a huge portion of the region's faculty, yet they show significantly lower conversion rates into the global top tiers. The data shows that regional performance is often propped up by specialized niche fields. Subjects like agriculture and architecture operate at a much smaller scale, yet they achieve the highest conversion rates and subject power scores in the index. A system that lacks this internal balance is vulnerable. When visibility is concentrated in only a few niche fields, the broader academic system can struggle to maintain a stable international presence. The 2026 performance data points to a consistent failing in the traditional higher education strategy. Academic systems that have focused exclusively on physical expansion are now seeing a measurable decline in their global standing. In several cases, the more a system grew, the further its average ranking plummeted. The data indicates a necessary shift in institutional focus. The focus on raw growth is being replaced by a focus on the mechanics of conversion. This involves moving resources away from general infrastructure and toward the development of a deeper, elite institutional layer. It requires an audit of subject portfolios to correct the vulnerabilities found in large, low-converting flagship faculties, and it requires choosing a focused institutional pathway, whether public, private, or research-based, rather than attempting to be all three at once. The nations that shape the region's academic future will be those that prioritize the concentration of talent over the expansion of facilities, turning raw scientific volume into measurable international influence.